So we could talk about the reveal of Big Bot today and his CG mode, but I think there's something bigger at hand here, something that the whole internet was talking about the past couple of days. And while I'm going to try to avoid spoilers, I think the big part of it that can't be avoided has to be talked about. And it's that of a Gobot. A Gobot in the Marvel MCU. Oh, James Gunn, what have you done? What have you done, James Gunn? I don't really care about Disney Plus and everything that's going on there. And, you know, as much as I love Marvel as a comic book company and been a lifelong Marvel fan for years, I've kind of started to check out on a lot of that MCU stuff. Don't really have the time and or care, but now you're putting a Gobot. You're dangling the proverbial carrot in front of me, and now I am interested. So, for people that are not aware, the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special just passed a couple of days ago. A nice little 44-minute little bite-size romp with the Guardians of the Galaxy and all those characters, directed by James Gunn. And there was a scene that fired up the internet, and it was the appearance of Cykill, the leader of the Renegade Gobots. And we have Drax knocking him out and stating that his cousin was killed by a Gobot. And this opened up a can of worms. A can of worms, if you will, of what is a Gobot within the MCU. Clearly, for Drax, and this is me, I'm gonna be going deep into this, guys. I apologize for the next couple of minutes. Proto Man is going to think way more than he needs to about a Gobot in a 44-minute made for Disney Plus holiday special. But that's besides the point. So what is a Gobot? What is a Gobot in the MCU? By him punching Cykill and stating that it's a Gobot, mistakenly thinking it's a real Gobot, it implies that stuff that looks like Cykill, labeled a Gobot, exists within the MCU. And it's crazy because you have to ask yourself, who is this cousin? When you look at Drax's profile, even when you look at the 616 universe of the original Marvel comics, you know about his wife and his wife being killed by Thanos. And that was also paralleled in the MCU version. He has a second wife. He has a daughter. He has a foster daughter. He has a niece. And that's it. Never heard about a cousin. Who's this cousin? And who's this cousin that was killed by a rogue Gobot? Was it Cykill? Was it Phytor? Copter? Crasher? Slicks? Was it Slicks? Run over by a Formula One? Who knows? But madness. Madness, if you will. But it gets deeper because the fans had questions for James Gunn. And James Gunn has always been an individual that is willing to answer the fans' questions on Twitter. So we have a whole bunch here just to go through because I am losing my mind. Number one, Zach asks, who decided which cosplayers could be there? James Gunn says, I chose from the ones available to us, either public domain or Disney, or in the case of the Gobots, Hasbro being nice enough to let us use Cykill. Well then. Looks like Hasbro gave the thumbs up once again, much like how we had Blaster appearing in a Chip and Dale movie through Disney Plus. Now we got a Gobot showing up. But there's more. James wants to know, did you have the license? Do you have to license Gobots from Hasbro for the joke? Bravo either way. And James said, yes, they were awesome enough to agree. Grateful, really grateful for that. Well then. So, again, agreeing with Hasbro, working something out there. Earthsparker wanted to know, was Gobots used because famed Marvel hero Rom was unavailable? Of course, he's referring to Rom the Space Knight. That was also a Marvel comic book, but also has a huge licensing kind of mess going on to be able to use that character. But James Gunn responds, no, Gobots was used because I thought it would be funnier. Thank you for that, James, to add Gobots into the madness. Nathan says here, will we ever get an explanation on Gobot and Drax? Love to hear some theories on that. And James says a rogue Gobot brutally murdered his cousin. So again, who is that rogue Gobot? Will we ever know? Was it Cykill? Was it someone that looked like Cykill? LF Garcia wanted to know, now I'm wondering how humans became aware of the Gobots to even create a franchise based on them. And then James Gunn said, Who says that the Gobots are a franchise in the MCU? Because, again, this chicken before the egg. That guy cosplaying implies that he's cosplaying as a Gobot, but is he cosplaying a Gobot because it's a franchise in the MCU, like in our real world? Or is he cosplaying a Gobot because Gobots are a real thing in the MCU and he's cosplaying that real thing? Judging by James's answer, it sounds like Gobots are a real thing. So there's Gobots in the MCU. They're out there. And the madness continues. There is something that could be done here on a deep level. Now, to just go outside of it for a second. So the original Gobots had no Marvel connection at all. You know, the original run of the Gobots cartoon was a Hanna-Barbera affair. Didn't have any comic books per se. The closest they did have to comic books, because they didn't have Marvel comics, they didn't have DC comics, the closest that they had to that was in the UK, there was a small publishing company called Eagle Comics in the UK that did the Robot Machines, or Robo Machines, which was what Gobots were called in the UK. And so they had a couple issues with that, and that was about it. And then the closest outside of that is Golden Books did some Gobots children's books in the 80s. That was it. And then we fast forward to just a couple of years ago, and IDW Comics, which are also the people that have the Transformers license, they did a crazy off-the-wall Gobots standalone comic by the crazy, but yet equally awesome Tom Cykill. Not really canon to anything Gobots, really just kind of shakes up the Transformers continuity and universe, if anything, based on that last issue. But it's all madness. And when you really go deep into it, it's like, you know, Transformers themselves are not really part of the Marvel 616 universe, which is the Marvel Comics original universe. They're kind of their own Earth. They're like Earth 912274, if I remember correctly. So that's already confusing in itself. So it's like, where does this all go? But all we do know is finally James Gunn in the end just did a post. He posted the cosplayer, and then he posted a nice Hanna-Barbera Cykill character model image, and he posted canon. So, it has been a roller coaster ride for a Gobot / machine robo simp like me who just absolutely loves this and everything that's going on. And man, I hope there's more. We probably won't get more, but I mean, James Gunn, if you're listening, yo, put some more Gobots in, you know, put some Leader 1. Where's my Vanguard at? Vanguard's my boy. And the good thing, if you use Vanguard, if you use Vanguard, James Gunn, you don't have to worry about Bandai or any other companies coming after you, because that's a 100% Tonka / Hasbro creation. So a lot of crazy stuff going on here. I don't want to spoil too much. Go check it out on Disney Plus. Again, I'm not a big Disney Plus person, but check it out any way you can. And pretty awesome stuff. Love it. Love it. James Gunn, my hat's off to you, man. This is absolutely nuts. Gobots. Gobots in the MCU. What a world. What a world.